Good day, everyone. My name is Antoine. I'm an artist, designer, and band leader from Trinidad. But I am basically more involved in the wire bending aspect of costumes, which is what is a structure for mass. I'll explain when I say the structure for mass. It comes something like your body. For you to have a head on top, you gotta have a neck. To keep that neck up, you have to have bones. If you put your arms out, you have to have bones. To stand straight, you have to have bones. So basically, wire in Carnival or in mass come like bones in a costume. Headpieces is basically the same thing. Backpacks is the same thing. Down to the large big pieces like kings and queens and individuals come under that same structure. So in order to produce good costume or standard costumes, you must have wire work in the band. You must have wire work in the costumes. But then there's another thing you got to know about the wire work. What sizes, what gauges is used for the different parts of a costume. For instance, the gauges run from like 22, which is a very fine gauge. The larger the number, the smaller the wire. But stuff like that is for like tie-in costumes. We don't use much of that. We use 16 gauge, we use 14 gauge, we use 12, we use 9, some places have it as 10. So 9, 10 is the same gauge. That's a heavy gauge when you are going up for backpacks and stuff like that. I'll demonstrate as I go along with the class. But it's something you got to also know. As a wire bender, I use what we call strapping tape in all my bending materials. Strapping tape is a tape that has fiberglass in it. That fiberglass in the tape, you cannot burst it. It has to be cut. And that is what you strap your stuff with. For instance, this is a bra, you strap with this. But the reason why I put this out to my students is because there is also welding. I do not weld for many reasons. Welding, which I used to, I have on the side, is a costume like this. This is a bra. This is also a bra. I'll show you the difference why I stick with the strapping. If you notice on this here, there is nuts which part you weld. There's nuts all over. Many females, after the carnival, or even for shows that I do, when they put this on and they move their body, these nuts bruise them. If you have to straighten something with a nut, it cannot be straightened. It will only be popped because you have to jam it point the way you cut it to weld it. On the other hand, with a bra that I strap, if you hold on, if you want, you can adjust it. With the tape, bars could be adjusted. With the welding, it is not done. Whether it's a backpack, a shoulder piece, anything, it cannot be done. Now, before we go into the whole details, I'll show you some of the wires. This is 16, the gauge. It is mostly used on the top and decorative areas of costumes. For instance, you want to put a little fancy piece in a costume, you could use 16 gauge, covered and decorated. 14 is the next very important gauge. The reason why I said that, 75% of all wire bras are made from 14 gauge. Also, headpieces are pretty light because they are made from 14 gauge. When I say headpieces, I mean stuff like this. like tiaras. I show you. This is a tiara, this is the same gauge it's made out of. The wire brass, this is the same gauge it's made out of, 14. It is one of the most useful in all the wire work that you do. If you're using a 14 and you make a tiara, this is the same regular tiara, and you want to add to that tiara, this is where the 16 come in. You just put a little fancy piece on top, which part you could put like cover it, put firkins, and put feathers and decorate it more. But that is where the 16 come in. Okay. 12. Sorry. 12. This is some of the band leaders' best friend. A lot of stuff is made from this. A lot. Especially things like 12 gauge. Very nice and neat work from 12 gauges. And this goes over the shoulder. And there you have your 12 gauge. Oh, we does a lot of stuff for this. We make a lot of light stuff too. I'll show you all later on what we do. We make stuff like butterflies, birds, dragons, all different things. But basically, shoulder pieces and head pieces is done from this. I'm going to get into what is very important also. Another thing that I do in my class, your strapping tape, your scissors to cut your strapping tape. These are the tools you use in your wire class. If you do not have these tools, do not attempt to come to class, do not attempt to start a class, do not attempt to build anything. Your major pliers, this is for cutting all the hard wires. Your bird beak pliers, this is what you're going to make sure and have to do all the curves and curls. And without this major one here, you cannot bend. It kind of like you're making a dress or anything, or pants, and inch tape. Do not use hard tape. The reason why, this you can take and bend around anything. It could flow. And when you're building these things, you will need your tape to be even here, break away from here, same thing, you're even here. Must be able to measure. Other than that, your material or your work will come out lopsided, which I know you don't want. So when you have these here, I will call them babies because they are my babies. When you have these babies here, then we go into what we call the ABC of wire bending. That's before you can even start making anything. The ABC of wire bending, when you come to my class, which I does, see if you can follow what I'm doing. I'll show you what each one of these things represents. You have to be able to bend an angle. You see? This is an angle. Wire angle, this is used for many parts of mass. I can show you one right now. Look at the point of a tiara. See? The point of the tiara. You have to be able to make this. Another thing you gotta be able to do for me, when you come to my class, you have to be able to make squares. People come to the class, oh, I can make that, oh, it's easy. When they try it, you will not like to see what they give you. So, this is a square. We're talking about the square areas of everything. It falls into play. If you follow it, look at headpiece right here. There you get a square. Bam, bam. These are important, but they are more important when you are doing larger costumes. For instance, can I ask someone to pass my son for me?
Yep.
I call this guy my son. It's a little guy I been a year when I was playing our very own, and this was his arm is everything that he can pick pawpaw from a pawpaw tree. He had on clothes, pants and everything. But since I bring him into my wire class, I strip him from the clothes so the people could see. And what is he basically made of? Squares. Squares tighten your costumes. Squares hold your costumes firm. So again, you got to be able to make squares. Those are, the triangle is 1, the square is 2. Those are the ABCs in my class. But we are not finished. We got more to do. For instance, I will show you one of the very important, in fact one of the most important things in the class. It is the little twirl. You hold, this time you don't use your square pliers. This time you use your bird beak. This is where the bird beak come in to make that little angle here. And I'll ask, well, I don't really have my people on screen class here with me, but I'll ask everybody to take a good look at this. Tiny as it may look, just as how this looks, it is the most important thing in wire bending. Why? Let me tell you why. When you do this, that's what you use in the back of the tiara to tie it. When you do this, same thing here. This is what you use to put the straps to tie your wire bra, the piece to go around the female body. So you're using the wire bra, it's using the head pieces. Oh, that's not where it stops. This goes over the shoulder. That goes up on the side. But check it out. This also is here. That's to be able to tie your backpack or your straps. It is used for every single thing. You might not see it here. I cannot show you it here. The big backpacks, I'll bring one out later for you to see, is also used that. The large big kings and queens, they also have those big straps that go across them. Same shape again, just at a larger scale. So that is the next thing. Then you have something that you gotta be able to make. Circles. Very, very important. Circles. Where the circles come in a lot of stuff. Besides decoration, if you're doing a bird, a butterfly, a bee, you mostly come in to do eyes and stuff like that. So circles is very, very important. So you got the circles. It has one that we call the twirls. This one, a lot of people don't like it. But this is beauty and mass. You don't do all the major stuff, you must have some beauty in the mass. That's this twirl. And I'll tell you what it is. For the people who follow Carnival and follow mass all over, you will see a lot of these. A lot of these twirls. Hats, Brazilian mass mostly carry a lot of these. And don't get too tied up as decoration alone. I'll tell you where you will see these. Being an insect, you see a butterfly have them. So it's all over. You get them all over. So now, I only have one more to show you. Same wire, but this you can make this easy. Yeah. You take your handle of your pliers or anything, you bend one like this. This here, this spin wheel I got right here, look one right here, is what you use on the bras under here to strap them. If you do, I will show you it, and in a few minutes I'll show you when a piece that is finished. Of course, that you'll see they use it with laces all the way down to strap it. But this is what it is. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the ABC class. You cannot bend or attempt to bend without ABC. You got the curls, the twirls, the angles, the squares, the circles. Do not attempt to do any mass work or wire work with all these things. Because, believe it, these that I show you here, or I give you here, any piece of wire work you bend will have maybe 2 or 3 in them. And that is what I can tell you right now about that area of it. Generally, someone's head, or the basic head size, is like 24 inches for an adult, 22 for a kid. That's basic. You may always find one a little larger, you may find one a little smaller. And then with these young ladies that wearing these lots of weaves and stuff, you may have to go more. Or those dreads that have those locks and things, you may have to go a little more. The first thing we are going to produce is a tiara. That is a basic. From that tiara, you can make several headpieces. You can make as much as 40 to 45 headpieces. But they'll be all different designs if you want them to. But like I said, we are doing the basics. You have to cut 2 pieces of wire to do this. The first piece we're going to cut is 24 inches long. So here we go. Don't forget, like I said, 24 inches. That's the bottom piece for the head. Then we're going to cut a piece 22 inches. When we do this, we find the center area of each. So 24 half of it will be 12. Now there's a trick in bending this piece of wire. The 24 inches piece, when you get to the center, you bend it like if it's a scissors, like you're going to cut. So it's like it could swing. The piece that is 22 inches, I'll show you how you bend that. The middle will be 11. But I don't know if everyone experienced the days I had in school, but when you join like an ocean or sea, they tell you draw little birds. So it's like a V with like a little bird up. It's not crisscross, it's like a bird that want to flap. That's the difference. Now, you take the 22-inch piece and you see the point. Now pay attention to what I'm going to show you here. The two V's. You see how the V's come in handy? The two V's. And the first thing you do in the class, the two V's fall in place as you strap them together. You're going to strap these two together. Once you get them there, show you what happens. You see, you start getting the shape of the tiara. Okay. Now, you have to put this onto this. The only way that can fit, you have to get what you call maybe a little leg. I call it a leg because to me it has to stand on the other one. So you see a slight bend I give it there? So it could fit on top of this one. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to strap them. There it is. Don't forget to play the water. Don't forget it was in a roll. So I have to open it up. As you can see, I'm opening it up. You don't forget to open it up. You're strapping this one onto this one now. You want to raise the top of it. You hold the two back areas together. You take your pliers and you just squeeze the front. And there it goes up. Now, You come to your bird beak. You hold the end and you turn it up. Not down, up. You don't want nothing digging in the head. So you turn it up. And if you find your tiara is too flat, all you can do is shape it a little bit. Give it a little body shape. Give it a little body shape. It's wire work. You're in charge of it. So don't afraid to give it a little body work. And what do you have there? Your tiara.